10 best designer brands in my collection. So there's a couple of things I was thinking about when I was putting this video together. One of which being, which of these brands make the best fragrances in my personal opinion. And the second thing is, which of these brands are really worth investing in? Because as we all know, fragrances can be pretty expensive. There are some brands out there that release relatively inexpensive fragrances. For example, Tommy Bahama. At retail, they're still around $70-80, but at discounters, you can often get them for around $20. However, there are some other designer brands that don't get discounted that cheap. And so it really kind of makes you wonder, which one of these are actually worth paying more money for. You want to make sure you're getting better quality. You want to make sure you're getting better, more creative scents. You want to make sure you're getting fragrances that you just enjoy. So there's a lot of things to think about here. So after tossing it around for a while, I finally came up with my list of my 10 best designer brands in my collection. So these are my personal preferences, my personal favorites. But along with that, these are also brands that I would recommend that you invest in as well. Because again, when you think about it, at the end of the day, fragrance is an investment. You're spending a lot of money on these bottles, and you want to make sure you're getting stuff that you're going to be happy with in the long run and stuff that you're going to be able to wear frequently. So before we kick off the list, if you are new here to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Also turn on post notifications and like this video. Even if you come back and watch my videos on a daily basis, make sure you are subscribed, because I know a lot of you do watch my videos often but haven't actually hit the subscribe button yet. So make sure you do that. That will just ensure that these new videos show up on your news feed. And now that we've got that out of the way, let's go and jump right into the video, starting off with number 10, and this is the House of Valentino. So I've got a couple Valentino fragrances. I've got Uomo Intense and I've got Uomo Noir Absolute. I've tried a few others as well. I just don't personally own them. And I like Valentino. They're kind of in the mid-range to upper tier in terms of the pricing for designer houses. Valentino Uomo Intense, I believe you can pick up the 100ml bottle for anywhere from maybe $50 to $60, somewhere within that price range, maybe a little bit more. It just kind of depends on where you look and if you're shopping from discounters or if you're shopping on Facebook groups and stuff like that. They've got a lot of great scents. Uomo Intense is probably one of the more popular ones out there, I guess, compared to Durham Intense. It's a really solid brand and they make some awesome scents. At number 9, we have the House of Prada. So this one is a little bit lower on this list, and that may upset some people, but again, this is just my personal preference here. And believe it or not, at this time, I only own one Prada fragrance, and that one is Prada Carbon. So the Prada L'Homme line is probably what most people think about when you talk about Prada fragrances, and I don't own any of them. I don't own the original Prada L'Homme because I have Dior Homme Eau, and I personally enjoy that one more, and that's really the main reason why I don't have any of the Prada L'Homme series. And then, of course, you have the fragrances from the Prada Luna Rossa line, so Prada Luna Rossa Sport, Black, and so on. I have tried a few of those. Prada Luna Rossa Black is very nice. That's one that I probably will be interested in picking up a full bottle of for this fall and winter. I just haven't gotten one yet. And I only own one at this time, and because of that, Prada is a little bit lower on this list. Over time, I probably will start to pick up more of the Prada Luna Rossa series, because those are really nice. Like I said, Prada Black is up next on my list. But other than that, I'm not all that interested. There's also Prada Amber Pour Homme, which is very nice as well. And what I have smelled so far, they do make really nice high quality scents. I just haven't found myself really wanting to pick any more up. So at number 8, we have the House of Bulgari. They got the whole Bulgari Man in Black series. They've got the Aqua series, and they even have their newer, higher end, almost niche collection, which I haven't tried any of those personally, but it's something that I'd be interested in at some point. So really, I don't own that many Bulgari fragrances either. I own Aquamarine, Aqua Atlantique, and Aqua Amara. Those are really the only ones I have right now. Out of all of those, Aqua Atlantique is my number 1 favorite, and that's really why Bulgari is being put at the number 8 spot, just for that one fragrance. Again, I have tried Bulgari Man in Black. I do enjoy that one. I think I've tried a couple others, I'm sure. I can't really think of off the top of my head. But this is another house that I don't find myself, often gravitating towards, at least in terms of picking more scents up. But the ones that I do own, I really enjoy. Atlantique has been killing it for me this summertime, and it's one that I'm going to keep coming back to. They really know what they're doing when it comes to making aquatics. Their whole Bulgari Aqua line is fantastic, and that's why it's being ranked at number 8. Number 7, we have Carolina Herrera, fragrances like CH Men Privé, and so on. So those are two of my favorites I just listed there. I want to try the new CH Insignia. I want to try the CH Men Kings. There's a few more that I want to try. Then there's like the Bad Boy or something. I think that just came out or something like that, which is odd. I would be interested in trying that one as well. And honestly, from what I've smelled from them so far, I've been really impressed. You know, I've talked about CH Men and CH Men Privé a lot, but those are fantastic scents, especially for being in that mid price point for designers. I mean, you can pick up a 100 ml of those two fragrances for anywhere from like $45 to $50. And that's a killer price, worth every penny at that price point 100%. So those are two that I definitely recommend checking out and picking up to have in your collection because they are solid. At number 6, we have the House of Yves Saint Laurent. A few fragrances to mention from them is Yves Saint Laurent L'Homme, La Nuit de L'Homme, L'Homme Ultime. That's a really, really solid one. YSL Tuxedo from their more expensive line. And then you have the new La Nuit de L'Homme Eau de Parfum, which I haven't tried yet, but I am interested in trying that one. And the list goes on. They have a ton of different fragrances, especially within their whole L'Homme series. But one of my personal favorites from them is La Nuit de L'Homme. I love that scent, and you know, that's probably what introduces a lot of people to the Yves Saint Laurent selection of fragrances. Because as we know, La Nuit de L'Homme is very hyped up and talked about very often. And that's just because it smells awesome and it works great for what it's intended to do. And that's to be a nice, sexy evening out scent. It's incredible stuff. And YSL is kind of in that mid to upper tier in pricing as well. La Nuit de L'Homme, I believe you can get 100 ml for around $65, $70. And then, of course, their more private collection, like with Tuxedo and fragrances like that, those are going to be a lot more expensive. But this is another one where, in my opinion, it's worth every penny. You're having really some good investments here with Yves Saint Laurent fragrances. They have Rive Gauche, which is another really, really nice barbershop scent. You know, the list goes on. They just have a lot of great scents, a lot of classics, and it's one that's definitely worth having in your collection. Coming in at number 5, we have Versace. So, me personally, I love Versace fragrances. This one, in terms of price point, comes in typically at around the $35 to $50 price point for 100 ml bottles. So I would say it's in that mid to somewhat lower tier pricing. And you know, I've said it before, but Versace offers some of the best value for what you're paying for and what you're getting. They make great sense. Fragrances like Versace Pour Homme, the original, Versace Eau Fraiche, which is one of my personal favorites, Versace Man in the purple bottle. It's a sweet tobacco type scent with some saffron. And you have Versace Eros, which is a very nice minty tonka bean sweet fragrance. And of course, Versace Dylan Blue, which is an iteration of the blue scents. And of course, there's a new Versace Eros Flame, which, you know, I could kind of do without. But the list goes on. Versace has a lot of great fragrances, and again, they come in at a really, really competitive price point. I would say that every collector should have at least a few Versace fragrances in their collection because they really do come across as great quality and just really nice scents overall. So at number 4, we have Dolce & Gabbana. This one comes in about that middle tier price point. Really, you're expecting to pay about $50 for 100 ml bottles, basically across the line. Of course, when I'm talking about this price point, it's just kind of somewhat of an estimation. I can't, you know, pinpoint for sure which fragrances are going to be at what price because it changes every single day. But generally, on average, you're going to be paying about $50. And that's a really solid price. Again, you're getting great quality scents here. Fragrances like Dolce & Gabbana The One, Eau de Toilette, and Eau de Parfum. Their whole light blue series, those are fantastic. Dolce & Gabbana Intenso, Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme, a classic. They just have a ton to choose from. All at a very competitive price point and all with really nice quality as well. And the fact that it is Dolce & Gabbana, when someone asks you what you're wearing and you do say, yeah, I'm wearing Dolce & Gabbana, they're going to think that's pretty cool and that's pretty high end, even though in reality, you're only paying about $50. Coming in at number 3, we have Tom Ford. So Tom Ford is going to be in that higher end in terms of pricing, really in the upper tier. Fragrances like Tom Ford Noir Extreme, which smells fantastic. I smelled that one a couple years ago, and I still have yet to pick up a bottle, but it is on my wish list for fall and winter because it smells great. It's very unique. It's a very nice, sweet scent. It's got a nice, sexy appeal to it as well. Awesome stuff, but I haven't picked it up yet just because it is more pricey. And then you have Tom Ford Noir, Tom Ford Noir Anthracite, just to kind of name off those. And then you have their more popular private blend collection. And this is where prices start to go up even more. Typically for a 50 ml bottle, which is kind of the standard size for the private blend collection, you're going to be paying on average of $150 or more. Sometimes you will find deals for less than $150, maybe on fragrances that are less desirable and less hyped up, but generally you're going to be paying more than that. I'm a pretty big fan of their private collection. I have Tom Ford Costa Azzurra Aqua, Tobacco Oud. Up next on my immediate wish list, I'm going to be getting Tom Ford Fougère d'Argent, which is a very classic type of scent, more barbershoppy, which in my opinion smells fantastic. I got a sample of it and I fell in love with it. And there's Tuscan Leather, which is another classic. Most people are going to know what Tuscan Leather is. And you got Tobacco Vanille Fatale. There's just a ton of them in the private blend collection. And this is another one where for a while I kind of put off Tom Ford. I like bottles. I like the look of bottles, and that really does kind of factor into when I'm purchasing a scent. I'll admit it right now. I like the look of bottles and the aesthetic of them, and I'm just not the biggest fan of the Tom Ford bottles. I mean, yeah, they look nice and classy, but there's really nothing too eye-catching or special about them. So I will admit, for the longest time when I was first starting out, I kind of put Tom Ford off for that reason, and also because of the price. But now, as I start to care less about what the bottle looks like and more about what the scent smells like, I am starting to get into Tom Ford Private Blend more. Like I said, I've got a number of them on my wish list to pick up for this fall and winter because they do make some fantastic cooler weather scents. Coming in at number 2, we have Chanel. So this one, again, is another higher-end designer house. So realistically, you're not going to be paying anywhere under $100 for Chanel fragrances. It's all going to be over that $100 price point. Fragrances like Chanel Allure Homme Sport, which I just did a review on, that's a classic timeless scent. Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme, which a lot of people tend to prefer, and a lot of people actually commented on how much better Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme was than Allure Homme Sport, and I would imagine it has something to do with the hype that is built around it, but they both are great. And you have the whole Bleu de Chanel series, which really revolutionized the men's fragrance game. I've somewhat recently just smelled Bleu de Chanel Parfum via a sample, and that's another one that's going to be on my wish list to pick up for this fall. It smells fantastic. I had the EDP at one point. I ended up selling it off. I just had a small 50 ml. And next I plan on probably getting 150 ml of the Parfum because it smells great. And there's fragrances like Platinum Egoiste and things like that, and then there's their more expensive line of fragrances, which I haven't personally tried any of those. So Chanel is a great designer house, and I would say that most of you out there who are somewhat serious into collecting will have a Chanel fragrance or two. You can't really get them discounted all that often, but they are worth the price tag. They are really nice, really high quality. The sprayers on them are fantastic. The scents themselves just smell great. And coming in at number 1, I don't even have to check my notes for this one, fellas. That one is Dior. So I'm sure some of you saw this one coming from a mile away, and it's the case. I love my Dior fragrances. Dior Homme Intense, Dior Homme Parfum, Dior Homme Cologne, Dior Homme Sports 2008, 2012, the regular Dior Homme, the list goes on. And then you have their more private collection of fragrances as well. Fève Délicieuse and Ballade Sauvage, those are really nice. Really like Fève Délicieuse a lot. Perfect for fall and winter. And of course you have Sauvage, again, another one of my personal favorites. Love it or hate it, it just works. Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum, Parfum. I haven't tried the new Parfum yet. I would like to at some point. I just can't see myself purchasing it at retail, and I'm really kind of focusing on building up my fall rotation, so that one just isn't fitting in yet. If I end up seeing a bottle for a relatively good deal, maybe I'll pick it up and check it out, but it's probably not going to be happening anytime soon. But I do love Sauvage, Eau de Toilette, and Eau de Parfum. They are fantastic. So yeah, Dior coming in at number 1. Great scent. And in terms of pricing on this one, it is going to be in that upper tier as well. Not as expensive as Chanel and Tom Ford, but more expensive than Yves Saint Laurent. So, it's kind of just fits right in between those. Some of their fragrances can be found for a little bit less money, but generally you're going to be in that $80 to $90 range for 100 ml. And in my personal opinion, they are worth every penny. I love Dior. I love their fragrances. They just know what works, and they know kind of the trends to follow. Look, they revolutionized the game with the iris note. Dior Homme really kind of kicked it off. And now look at all the other fragrances out there doing it. You have Prada, you have Valentino, a bunch of other designer houses out there utilizing iris, and that's all because Dior kind of kicked it off. So guys, that's it for this video. That are my 10 favorite designer brands that I have in my collection. In my personal opinion, these are all 100% solid investments. You really can't go wrong with any of these. One designer that didn't quite make it on here was Giorgio Armani. I love Acqua di Gio Profumo. Obviously, that was one of my favorites. I just really couldn't fit it in here. And on top of that, I haven't really smelled too many of their other fragrances either outside of the Acqua di Gio series. So honestly, because of that, I couldn't include them in the list, even though I really wanted to. But Armani's going to be kind of in that upper price point as well. They are a little bit more expensive, but Acqua di Gio Profumo, Acqua di Gio Essenza, those fragrances 100% worth it. Even some of their Armani Code fragrances, Armani Code Profumo, that's one that I have tried and it does smell fantastic as well. And of course, there's Emporio Armani, which is kind of, offset to them. Stronger with you intensely, fragrances like that. So guys, let me know down below what your 10 favorite designer fragrance houses are, and also comment down below what other videos you want me to do. If you have any certain requests, just let me know. And that's gonna do it, guys. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.